All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. What? Why are you waving?
I'm waving to the people. I'm saying hi to everyone.
I thought you were trying to get my attention. Now I got to start over. Damn it. I thought you were like, stop, wait. I'm like, what? All right. And I was hyped on that one, too. Thanks.
Terrible.
Thanks.
Start over.
All right. Second take. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production, proudly brings to you the Four Tales Podcast. I am your host, Kyrun Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the wine-colored writer of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast, because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger and wider audience. That's right, raise the roof, all right?
Raise the roof.
And if you are on Facebook, there is a little link that says it says chat.restream.io/Facebook. Please hit that link, because that helps us see who you are when you comment in the stream. Only on Facebook, though. What's that?
Does it, though?
Yeah, it does. You have to click on it for some reason. Like whoever Facebook user just said morning, folks. There's a link that says chat.restream.io. Click that. Enable it. It says, I think it says allow Facebook something. And then it allows us to see who you are. So do that, please. You have this weird look on your face now.
Hey, I'm gonna put it in my chats too, so people can use it. I don't. Okay. Technology is always like why. Like,
okay. All right. Anyways, Danny, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you been? I know you've had some family stuff this week, but other than that, how things going?
Family. I just realized this, that almost every month since May, I've had somebody die. And I'm sort of tired of it, honestly. But yeah. For anybody that wants to know, my grandmother passed away on Thursday night in her sleep. I mean, she was 92, 93, and we were expecting it, but it's still hard to take in, especially because this was my last grandparent. So I am done with grandparents. I don't know what you want to say, but it's still difficult in the family, trying to help out my father and make sure he's okay. But other than that, life is life. I've been pounding away, as they say, on some pages for this book that I'm working on. It's a Western series. I've heard my artwork right now on it is really good, and I'm excited. See, Javon now shows.
See, you can see Javon's name now.
See, and Javon, I appreciate your comment. Thank you for that. But no, I've been pounding away on some pages for this Western. Which, if anybody knows me, I hate Westerns. So,
Wait, what?
I hate Westerns, dude.
You hate the Western genre, or you just hate drawing Westerns?
Both.
How? How do you hate Westerns? Like,
it's just not my lifestyle. It's not something I'm.
Were you born in America? Are you an American?
Yes, I think so.
How do you hate Westerns? Westerns is like, it's like the samurai movie of our culture. It's like what? How? Like, it doesn't make sense.
The idea of Westerns. I mean, okay, yes. Javon says he hates drawing horses. I'm exactly the same way. But there's nothing that has appealed to me about a Western story outside of Back to the Future Part 3. Every other Western I've watched has just been, all right, whatever.
Terrible, bro. We gotta. I might have to. We might have to do top 5 westerns on top 5 live. And
did you guys already do that?
I don't know if we did. We're gonna do it again. We did do it because 310 to Yuma. But there's some good westerns, man. Stop it. You gotta be able. You gotta. Not even the shows. Not even like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Rifleman. Man, come on now.
I used to watch Walker Texas Rangers. Does that count?
I mean, no,
no. Okay.
But
wait, Back to the Future 3 is the worst of the trilogy.
Literally the worst of the trilogy.
Is it though? Really? Is it?
It is.
I think number 2 is worse.
Is.
I
think number 3 is the worst one. Number 2,
right.
they got overzealous, but at least it was technology based. Like I ain't. Anyways, we're not here to talk about
my hatred of westerns. Yes,
yeah,
right.
come on.
But a trilogy we are here to talk about is the series called Belial, which is now on Kickstarter. I'm working on the segues. Yeah, trying to segue. Yeah. So who we have on the show today are artists, writers, and creators of this immensely popular series, Belial. We have Shaun Barbour on video, and for anybody that's on the live stream, we have Chuck Pineau, who apparently has a huge hangover or something. He doesn't want to show up on the stream, so he is just audio for right now.
Well, we'll see. Can you guys hear me okay?
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, we can hear you both.
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you.
And everybody's got a Tombstone.
Tombstone exactly.
Is like an exceptional thing for like westerns. And then if you haven't seen Westworld, like Kyrun, you got to get on Westworld, man. That's a good segue.
I have watched the first episode of Westworld, but just it's on my queue of things to watch with like 20 other things. Like I still haven't watched the last season of Stranger Things. So
yeah, I haven't finished a couple of episodes of that, but I did assign you before we did the project. I did assign you to watch Unforgiven. Did you watch Unforgiven?
I did, with Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood.
Why is your face not excited when you say yes? I did.
Did we had this conversation? I think. No, I had it with my other friend. Okay. After watching that, I think I realized that and this goes a little political here, but the term "good guy with a gun," I think it originated with that movie. The idea that this one guy can just go around shooting everybody and it solves the problem. But I think a lot of people who watched that movie didn't realize that Clint Eastwood's character was really the bad guy in that series, or a bad guy in the series.
There were no good guys in the movie. The
first person he kills was the guy's friend. I don't remember anybody's name, but the first person they kill was an innocent person that just happened to be at the brothel with the guy that sliced up the woman.
I'm like, we're not going to look at Chuck in his Punisher shirt.
Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong crowd hanging out with.
You want to hear? You want to hear a good segue?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
You guys are unforgiven for making us sit through this.
All right, fine.
Okay.
We'll save that for another time.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
I'm kidding. Right. No, it's your show. But I had to screw with you because it's you guys and I love you both, and that's what I do.
All right. So Shaun or Chuck are on the show to talk about their series Belial. Why don't you guys tell us what it's about? Why we're on the show for this, basically.
All right. I guess because what are we talking about? We're talking about Belial. Why are we talking about it? It's on Kickstarter. What is it about? It's about the original ruler of hell as he fights back against the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and Lucifer himself to reclaim what was rightfully his.
Okay, I love how his narrator voice just kicked in as he started describing
literally.
that. Right. Yeah, and I was like, all right. I got excited just listening to that. I was like, damn, get up in my seat a little bit.
Gotta practice, Kyrun. I got the convention coming up. Like, quick.
Okay. So we know it's about hell. Who, like, is this a horror series? Is this an action series, comedy series? How would you best describe this?
Like comedy.
I'm gonna say, yeah, it's like an action comedy that actually just happens to take place in hell.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And we're on issue 3. Oh, go ahead.
I have a question, and I've been wanting since issue.
Yeah.
Okay. And this might be, off of this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. All right. So, I know we've seen the cheesecake Kickstarters, right?
Yeah.
You have a character prominently featured in this book that could make you a lot of money. There is a sexy demon woman who is always naked and she has wings, and I saw somebody cosplay her. Why aren't you?
I thought we were talking about Link for a second.
No. No. Why? Tell me why that's not what you use to kind of promote this book.
Well, first, are you talking about there's like a background character and she's always naked? Is that the one you're talking about? The one with the wing?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. Maybe it's just my eyes, but I've seen more of her than the other supporting cast. I'll say that.
Thank you, Greg Morenchek.
Is a surprise because Greg has thrown those in on his own. In issue 1, he slipped it in just to see if we would notice, and we had a conversation about whether even to include it during the first issue. And then once he found out that we were going to be okay with that, he's like, "Oh, well, okay," and so just starts peppering it in. And by the time we're on issue 3, they're like 15 times in the first 10 pages.
Issue 3, that opening, I don't know if you guys read issue 3 or not, but issue 3, that opening, and you see her and she's part of the army and whatnot, she was not written that scene. I did not write a specific character, but he was like, "Oh, hey, I have an idea. Let's get Tits McGee in there." And so, yeah, sure enough, she's in there, and I'm like, "All right, great. We
Is
love
that her
you,
official
Greg."
name?
I just made it up now. I don't know.
It needs to be now, though. It needs to be her official name, Tits McGee.
Gotta be.
We need a Tits McGee cover.
Okay.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was somebody who cosplayed her, right?
They cosplayed a character like her, yeah. December Lace.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was all on her own, too. Like, we didn't even ask for her to do that. She popped up one day and was like, "Hey, guys, check this out." And so we were floored just as much as anything else, and we were just honored. So she's pretty awesome.
Hey,
it's funny because...
Belial 4, we need a Tits McGee cover. That's all I know.
If the percentage of presence continues to go up percentage-wise, then issue 4 will probably be just about Tits McGee. So
the Chronicles
Tits McGee.
Just Belial. We'll just slash that out. We'll have to show people, and then it'll be Tits McGee, and then Belial will be a background character.
I have an idea. Once you guys hit your goal, because you're gonna hit it, but once you hit your goal and you get that stretch goal, that first stretch goal should be a Tits McGee variant drawn by Danny J. Quick.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Now.
This is
trouble.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but like, we are two guys who work together, Shaun and I feel like you guys are two guys who work together. So if you're gonna throw your partner under the bus, we're gonna throw you under the bus. We think it should be a jam piece.
Okay,
Hey.
I'll ink it. Danny draws it, I ink it.
I'll ink it.
I'll color it too if you want, but
Hey,
Danny
we'll
has to
make
draw it
something
since it was his original idea.
We'll make something happen. I have to do it under my my ghostwriter name. I have to do it. I'll be hiding in the corner drawing while my kids are asleep. Like,
What is your ghostwriter name like Dix McGee? Like
No, it's Blade Ace. That's
Blade Ace.
Blade Ace the third.
That does sound kind of like a porn name. It could be kind of a porn name. What's up, girls? I'm Blade Ace. Ooh, you here to bring me a pizza? No, I'm here for the plumbing job. Oh, crap. Wrong set. Sorry.
Somebody had some loose pipes.
No.
Spade knife.
That sounds remotely racist. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
On the border there, Javon. No. No,
right.
man.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I have a question because you guys both write this series. It's a collaboration between the two of you. How does that dynamic work with you guys writing it?
Well, for the most part, so far what we've done is, I know that in the beginning I introduced the idea to Chuck. He came back with the comedy addition to it, and so I actually ended up changing the presentation of the book itself, because originally it was meant to be like a more serious story, but he was passionate enough about what he does that when he came back with the comedy aspect of it, I kind of was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. And since then, the belief has been that everybody involved in Belial gets to do what they enjoy, and it's going to be an unhindered thing. So Chuck writes the book, but what we do beforehand is there's a good amount of back and forth with outlining, and I get the credits as an editor, because after everything that Chuck writes, we go back and we answer we have a roundtable questions asked about why is this a hole in the story, or why are we doing this, and then we make suggestions back and forth. So there's a good amount of that collaboration that exists, but especially in issue number 2, Chuck told me, he's like, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to write all this stuff, and I'm going to come back to you, and then you get to tell me what you think. He had a solid idea so much in his mind that he actually surprised me with a good portion of that, and that was super fun for me.
Okay.
I love it. The communication, that's something we talk about a lot on this show, especially with indie creators. Whether it's the communication between writers or editors or artists, writers and artists, it can be hard to create something that's good anyway without having great communication. So how do you deal with disagreements? How do you deal with issues when you have something that one person likes and that the other person may not like?
I bottle it up, and then I unload later, and we have a beat down session, and then we compensate. We compromise.
No, you don't bottle it up. You just send all your griefs to me through DM.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I have a hitman.
Terrible.
Well,
Terrible.
but we do have an editor, and that actually goes to Wendy. And as much as you might think that Wendy's got my back, nah, she recognizes that it's got to be about the book. So there was actually, and I told the story last night, there was a joke that I was really excited about, the Shakespeare joke. And I put it in there, and both of them were like, I don't know this phrase. This doesn't mean anything to me. It's not landing. And I was like, oh, crap. And so we had to retool it to make sure that the audience would get it and they would be able to have fun with it. So, yeah, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And even my own wife is willing to call me out on that and say it. And so we fix it and we make it better, because it's not about my ego. It's not about Shaun's ego. It's about the book.
And when it comes to the book, honestly, when it comes to like the story and all that stuff, Chuck and I have really not had very many disagreements. It was more of an explanation of why is this there, and then if it didn't necessarily fit, building a bridge to make it work, because oftentimes we can kind of see where the vision is and kind of come to that conclusion in the end and find something that we're both happy about. And one of the things that really works in our favor is the fact that we have a shared sense of humor. So it helps a lot.
I actually agree with Braden's comments here. It's always about the ego. Because you
What's
have
your
to have
ass
a little
doing
bit of
away,
ego when
Creighton?
you're putting something out that's your original idea. You have to believe in it, and ego comes with that sometimes.
Yeah, but the ego comes when you're finished. I think, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be willing to put your ego aside to make that thing worthy of being egotistical about.
Now, what's the future for Belial? I mean, after issue 3, is there going to actually be an issue 4, 5, 6, or just 4?
Yeah, it's always... Oh, go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, it's always been, since the beginning, we had it kind of plotted out for the 4 issues. 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, 4 issues. It just kind of made sense. And so when we came out with like the original outline of the story, we knew where issue 1 was going to be. We knew where issue 2 was going to be, and so on. So we had the structure because we wanted to make sure that the story worked. And hopefully that's evident in number 3, because there's a lot of callbacks to what has gone on in issues 1 and 2. So then people will say, oh, wait, even though these guys are writing a goofy comic book, like, these guys take the craft seriously. And we're hoping to offer some things that I know in the indie universe here, I haven't seen very many people do many callbacks like that. And at least consistently with, I know I had an opportunity with the artwork to actually repurpose some of the artwork in the pages and use those. So, so it's always been about the 4 issues, and it's been a challenge to keep it within the page number that we have and the number of issues that we have.
I love it. I was gonna ask. I have a I want to say Belial 1. The way that you started the book was such a good hook, in my opinion. With the they had literally a man on his deathbed, and you had the young pregnant woman who was basically cheering for him to die. Like, she's like, no, I need to see him actually die. I think like that kind of storytelling, because it automatically makes you ask questions. It automatically intrigues you as to who these characters are, and then you see them go to hell, and say, this is my domain. Like, just the basics of storytelling, like having a good hook, and getting people intrigued. I think that's the reason why I always enjoy your stories, even though if you watch the show, I don't do demons, and I don't do evil spirits and stuff like that. Yeah. But you can still tell a good story, even though it might not be something that a person is interested in. You can get them interested in it by doing by telling a good story.
Well, see, the reason why we had such a serious beginning to the first issue was kind of a head nod to how the story originally started. It started out as a serious story. Like I said before, Chuck brought in, the humor aspect and showed me that was going to be something that was actually really workable and beneficial to it. I had that original part going on. So we're like, okay, well, let's put that in there. And then we actually transition from that serious subject over to the comedy. So once they get to hell is when the comedy side of things set in. But is dealing with a very real issue. And for anybody that would like do a little bit of research or knew anything about like the saints and stuff, there's like an Easter egg in that first portion right there, and it explains, if you were to look into it, why she's actually wanting that to happen to this guy that's on his deathbed. So it gives a little backstory if people are interested and be like, wait a minute, that triggers something in the back of my head. And that really goes to Chuck for that one, because he came up with some brilliant stuff.
Oh, I love that. See, now I gotta go back and do some research. I love when stories, especially in like fantasy and fiction like this, that they're rooted in either mythology or religious ideals. So that stuff can always make a story better too. So kudos for that.
I went to a private school for 7 years, and so a lot of the knowledge and stuff, that's kind of like the knowledge base for a lot of the things that are in the book came from actually researching stuff. So Belial, in its original context, in the oldest context that I could find, Belial was created as the original ruler of hell. He wasn't good. He wasn't evil. That was the job that he fulfilled. That's what he was created for. And so it was really important to have a book that rides the line there, that people can question, the intent of the book. What are you guys trying to say? Do you have an agenda? Do you have an ideology that you're trying to push? No, we're not. We're just telling the story that takes place there. And it's to say that, hey, we all have a purpose. And sometimes we may not recognize that ourselves in the beginning, and we might actually give that away, to people or to things that happen and sacrifice those things. But Belial is reclaiming that. He wants to do what he was meant to do. And so we have a lot of research that went into the characters and stuff. So even Link has a backstory that exists in real life. He's actually, and so it's really kind of fun that way.
Now we do have a question here from Braden saying, so how does a person get the fighting game print in the Belial campaign? The fighting game print. All right.
Which what the fighting game print?
Remember that amazing. This is Braden's way of talking about his stuff. Braden did this amazing thing where he made a fighting game print where a bunch of different indie characters were all in a fighting game together. You remember that, Shaun?
Yeah. And I didn't know if we were able to use that, so it hasn't been there.
Well, so is Braden trolling us right now? Is that what's going on? Is that...
He's semi-trolling us, but honestly, I was planning on, and we hadn't quite talked about this yet, but I thought it'd be a fun thing to possibly add as a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Okay, so team spoiler, there's going to be a stretch goal of a fighting game print.
Nice.
When we reach what amount?
I'd say, if we fund, it's not going to be much more than the funding. It's not going to be much more. That's a really cool thing. And one thing that we've always been about is, Chuck, myself, we've always been supportive of other indie creators. And one good thing that actually happens with that print is that it features a lot of different indie creator properties. So like Chris Tamaza's Base Force, you know what I mean? So Braden Cox is nobody. So we want to share the love. So it's not going to be much more than the funding goal for something like that.
So will there be a Kelpie in that print also, Shaun?
No, unfortunately, that came out before all of that. And I want to congratulate you for the horse head on that, because I think that was leading to your horse adventure currently. So I know how much you struggled on that.
No, that was fun. If anybody wants to know what Shaun and I are talking about, I recently finished some artwork for Shaun's book called I Drive for Cerber, and there is a fantastic creature in there called a Kelpie, which is like a horse, mermaid, octopus thing. I don't know how to describe it better than that. But it was a fun book to do, and hopefully I get invited back for issue 2.
That's already done. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. Cool. I'm getting paid. That's all I care.
Yeah.
I just realized something. I've done a book for all 3 of you guys now.
Well, yeah. Game recognizes game. Come on now.
Trying to make it happen.
Okay.
It's hard to find consistent, good consistent artists. So you can expect to have work.
I mean, not just that, but people with integrity that are passionate about what they do, that take it seriously. There's been a lot. I've seen a lot of people post in all the arenas how they've been duped by somebody who claimed like they were going to do this artwork and they took the money and ran or whatever. You know what I mean? So when you come across people like you guys and that are passionate and speak and represent what they're talking about, then you'd be a fool not to jump on something like that.
I just had that happen to me before I saw issue 4, where I paid my artist for like 5 pages worth of artwork back in April, and so far I've gotten 2.
Yeah.
So,
See, that could be pricey, man.
All right. Question from Javon: what are your guys' favorite current comics that you're reading?
Let's see. Current comic. I'll tell you. I just got done reading. There's a couple of books, and one of them is called Crossed. So, and if you like a post-apocalyptic, gritty story, Crossed is really good. And then I also read Nailbiter. I read all of the Nailbiter comics, and those are like about a serial killer. That's kind of crazy. So those are fun. I like those, but it was more in research for one of the things I was doing, because I also was writing another story called The Treatment, and I was kind of looking at examples and researching some of the notable horror genre type comics or psychological thriller type comics, and I leaned into that a bit and went down a rabbit hole and found myself reading these intense books. But yeah, so Nailbiter and Crossed have been my most recent.
All right, Chuck, what about you?
I mean, a lot of what I read is scripts. Like, I read so many different because I do an awful lot of editing. A book. Okay, so this is going to sound biased because I am on the project, but I'm on the project like 10 issues in. So Yisun Shin is on Kickstarter right now. It's done by a good buddy of mine, Henri Compan, and I came in as issue 10 was finishing up to help kind of clutter it away, like basically help kind of clean it up and finish it off, and then also help to remaster issue 1. The thing about that series is that it was originally co-written and edited by legendary Marvel editor David Allen Kraft, and he sadly passed away due to COVID about a year or so ago. And so Henri brought me in to help out with that. But Yisun Shin is the story, the real life story of a Korean admiral who I think he had like 23 or 27 battles in a row that he won while defending Korea from the Japanese. And it was in like the 1400s, and it's an intense, insane, crazy story. And that team is doing so amazing with it. It's just absolutely fantastic and such an interesting slice of history. And so being able to read that and be a part of that is just absolutely amazing. So I would say right now, Yisun Shin is one of my faves.
All right, we do have another question from Jabon, who's very question oriented today. What elements do you think need to be in a good horror comic?
I think some of that is subjective, but for me, I found myself drawn into the stories that actually found a good beat. You know, they had that cliffhanger page turn. They had you got invested in an aspect of both the protagonist as much as the antagonist. So you are invested in what is going on within the minds of both sets of people. So like in Crossed, it's basically about a disease that goes around and it causes the inhibitors in somebody's brain to kind of take off. So all of a sudden the deepest, darkest desires, whatever that is, they come to the forefront, and it causes people to be extremely aggressive and just, in droves of people. And some people were immune to that disease. And so you follow the group of the Crossed, and you also follow the group of people that are the uninfected trying to survive. And there's that struggle back and forth. So that amount of conflict. And then artistically, you have to have, for me, a lot resides in the artwork as far as like facial features and stuff like that. You have to be able to read the emotion in the pages. So those are all really important to me.
I'm a less is more guy. I love things like Jaws. I mean, you barely see the shark, but that's the thing is, as a writer, as an artist, and whatnot, we kind of need to get into people's heads a little bit and make them finish the art, make them finish that story in a way that will scare and freak them out. And so that's kind of the kind of thing that I look into. Like, even think about, I know it's not technically a horror, but like the movie Seven. If you think about it, yeah, we see all sorts of grotesque stuff and whatnot, but one person dies in that. Like we see one person die, and it's at the very end. Spoiler alert: Kevin Spacey dies in the end, and but that's the only person you actually see die. Everyone else, they're already dead or whatever. Yeah,
or it's implied that they died.
A gluttony dude like explode, or is that did I make that up in my brain?
He was already dead.
He was already dead when they found him.
Yeah, we didn't actually see it happen. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You see dead people, but you never see anybody get killed until the very end.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. So really, for me, it's that kind of cerebral take on it. You can throw guts and gore at people all frickin' day long, but really, the real fears are in our own heads. So play with that, and I think you got some.
Even in Seven, when you have his wife's head.
Yeah, which you never see.
You never see it.
Brilliant.
You see the box and you see the emotion. Yeah, you see the emotion of Brad Pitt, but you're like, what does it look like?
And here's the thing, but you do see it because you see it up here.
That's good storytelling right there.
Yeah,
that's good storytelling.
I'm gonna use that, Chuck. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to help, man.
I'm definitely gonna use that.
All right. Well, this is about the time where we would now do Danny's quick takes. I don't know if Danny is ready for these or not, but if you've never been on the show or experienced Danny's quick takes, they are a rapid fire questionnaire. Danny's going to give you 5 questions. I don't know how we're going to play this with 2 guests. Now, this is my first time doing 2 guests. But we're going to give you 45 seconds to answer those. And then I do want to say that this week's quick takes are brought to you by the Agents of Geekdom channel, which is going to be launching next week on September 16th. If you haven't actually figured out how to follow Agents of Geekdom, go to twitch.tv/Agents of Geekdom. Follow us there. I think we're going to be on YouTube and Facebook, or you'll be able to find our podcast. But it's a collaboration between ourselves and I think it's like 6 other Geekum. I don't know how to describe us shows, but if you're into that stuff, follow us. But
it's in the title. It's in the title. It's
in the title.
You're right. I'm overthinking things. I'm tired, right? But let's do this. And now a word from our sponsor.
And now back to the show.
I love it, man. That's like my favorite part of the show. Okay. So, we're going to do it a little differently this week. I have 1 question for each of you, and then I have the last 3 questions for both of you together. Okay. So my first question is for Chuck. I was going through your Facebook photos, and I found something kind of intriguing that I want you to tell me about. So, tell us about the Fraternal Order of Canyon Men.
Oh, wow. Okay. So the Fraternal Order of Canyon Men is, I live in a small town called Canyon Lake. And the Fraternal Order of Canyon Men is a bunch of local male residents who do good things for people in the neighborhood. So we will do things like, if someone is having a hard time, like say paying their bills or whatever, we raise money to pay their bills. We help give grants to kids, put them through college. We've gone out and we've done like chili cook-offs to raise money. We've built ramps on people's houses if they need to make it wheelchair accessible, like all sorts of things. So it's a really good local charity that helps out people.
I love that, man. That's always great to have in communities, to be able to go out there and help. Here in Alamance County, we have the Watchdogs, and it's a group of men who just we just look out for the kids in the middle and elementary schools, and help volunteer at the schools for schools are always short staffed, so we kind of just show up whenever they need us and help out. So I commend you on that, man. That's great. Question number 2 is for Shaun. Okay, know you got some good IPs. All right, you got some good intellectual properties. I love seeing what you got with coming with I Drive for Server. But if you had to bet your life on one of your IP success, and by success I just mean that you can provide for your family with it. Okay, so that it makes enough money that you can provide for your family. If you had to bet your life on one of your IP success, which one would you choose and why?
Which one would I choose and why? Oh, that's actually really tough because we've already done so much Belial, and then, you know, I'm gonna say right now I am going to honestly lean into Cerber just because it already has a fan base, it already has fan fiction, it has so many parts that already exist that can also be adapted to comic book. So it already has a further trajectory than the set 4 issues that Belial has. So I'll go with Cerber this time around.
I love it, and I love that cover for Server too, man. The team you put together for that is just great. All right. So question number 3 for the both of you. I want to see you guys suffering and eating hot things. So when are we going to get this one chip challenge?
Oh, he pulled out the chip.
Yeah, the one chip challenge has been dropped once again, and we also have a Satan's toe. Mine is coming in the mail. I've ordered it from Amazon. The one chip challenge, I stated personally, and actually so did Phil Lockler, that if we're funded within a week, so by Tuesday at midnight, if we're funded by Tuesday at midnight, this thing gets eaten. Regardless, when we fund, we are going to be doing the Satan's Toe challenge, which is 9 million Scoville sucker lollipop. So either way, you're going to see some pain and some uncomfortableness coming from the two of us sweaty white boys.
I am all for it. I'm all for one chip challenges, man.
I feel like we should.
Sorry, I jumped on that one, Sean. You can definitely have the next one.
No, it's okay. I did the one chip challenge last time and the Nitro Gummy Bear, which is like the world's hottest gummy bear, both at the same time while we were doing our last campaign. So I have to say that it pleases me to no end that Chuck is doing the chip this time.
I'll try it. Man, yeah, I can't. I'm terrible with hot stuff, period. So I just live vicariously through your pain.
Dude, that tip recalibrates your definition of what's hot. It has I can eat hotter food now than I ever was, and I want to say it's because of doing the chip thing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip of the newscasters doing the one chip challenge on live air?
No.
And it's a woman and this guy, and they both eat one, and the guy is just dying. He's like, just straight dying, and she's like, this isn't even hot at all.
I think I did see that.
I will try to find that one for you guys.
I love it. Okay, so question number 4 is for the both of you, and this is a question that I'm starting to ask most of the creators who come on. I want you to tell me what is the best and worst parts about creating comics.
Okay, so the best part about it is the realization that what you were thinking in your head has finally hit the paper. And for me, I get to leave that physicality behind for my kids and stuff, so that I'm actually able to produce something and be able to leave it. The worst part is by far marketing. Marketing your own stuff is the hardest part of the whole damn thing.
The best part is collaboration, because you get to work with amazing people and make the best thing possible out of all of your visions. The worst part is also collaboration, because people suck sometimes. Damn.
Dude, I was going to give you another 45 seconds, Chuck. I really was.
That was a good answer. Collaboration. And I can definitely see that. Okay. So my number 5 for the both of you. Again, if you watch the show, you know I usually like to end this with a top 5 list off the top of our creators' heads. So we want to know your top 5 cryptids.
Don't put "we" on that. I didn't make this up.
You didn't, but you did though. This was your question.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did make this one. All right, never mind.
Top 5 cryptids.
Are they both doing a top 5 or just
a combined list? Just throw out your top 5 favorite between.
All right, Chuck, I got you. I'll hit the first couple, and then you can finish it up. I know we like Sasquatch. The Bigfoot is a classic.
That was one of mine.
The Wendigo. Everybody loves the good Wendigo story. And then I do like Slender Man. And so those are 3. So, Chuck, you got the last 2.
That's messed up because my 2 were Sasquatch and Wendigo. So I'm gonna say Jersey Devil, and there's one from lake in northern Canada called Ogopogo, which is like a Canadian version of Loch Ness Monster.
Ogopogo, I've never even heard of that one.
yeah?
Yeah, well, it's Canadian, and we hide it from you guys.
Oh yeah,
But it's probably a really nice cryptid, isn't it?
Oh yeah. He pops up, destroys ships, and he's like, sorry.
I love it.
That was awesome.
So that's been our quick takes, again brought to you this week by the Agents of Geekdom.
Did you go to the Agents of Geekdom meeting last night?
Now you know I don't. That's your job, and that's Morgan's job. I don't.
Danny is the face. How have you guys not figured that out yet? All right.
I'm sorry. Wait,
he makes you guys look good.
Sorry, my bad. I forgot to do that. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, Danny's just going to be the poster child.
I literally just show up and talk at the last minute. That's my only job, and that's the only thing that I can do to help anybody is just show up and talk. So we'll do that.
Here's the minutes of Agents of Geekdom. They show up. They go through all of their stuff. They do all of the accounting and all that kind of stuff. They start to wrap it up. Danny shows up and goes, "You're welcome," and then it's done.
So donuts are in the back.
That sounds like every episode of this.
That's that's an Agents of Geekdom, right there. That's a whole meeting. You're welcome.
It's terrible.
That's his whole show in a nutshell. All right, but that was good. Quick takes. Well, we do want to finish the episode off with a high note. So, boys, let us know where people can check out Belial, check out your other books, things like that. If you want, I guess we'll start with Shaun. Where can people check out the Kickstarter and the rest of your work?
On Kickstarter, all you got to do is search for Belial. You'll see the one that has issues 1 through 3. If you want an idea about what is going on in each issue of the book, you can look at the previous successful campaigns. We do have preview pages there, so you can know what you're getting into ahead of time. And what was the second part of that question?
Your other works, where can people check that out?
The other stuff, I do put the time-lapse inking of Kyrun's lines for Cerber and stuff on TikTok and Facebook. On TikTok, I am Instinct, INSTINKED. Same thing on Instagram, same thing on Twitter, and on Facebook. It's just Shaun Barbour. So you can see that stuff everywhere that you go that way.
All right, and Chuck, what about you?
I mean, he told you about Belial, and we would love it if you checked it out. That would mean the world to us. But I'm Chuck Pineau, Pineau. You can track me down on Facebook on that, on Instagram on that. Of course, you can also find me on Twitter at ChuckyPin. My publishing company, Bonfire Press, which I run along with my good friend Chris Latimer and my wife, Wendy Gale. That's on Facebook. You can find that there, and you can check out all the great stories that we've got going on. And then, of course, my YouTube channel, Chuck's Raw Reviews, where sometimes I talk about comics, but more importantly, I talk to creators about their processes and whatnot on my Tuesday night show, Chuck's Shop Talk.
All right. Danny, where can we find all your work at?
I love it. I do want to thank y'all real quick for stepping in for us this week. We had a mishap, and
I wasn't gonna tell anybody that. Nobody. Dang it.
Well, I wanted to thank them for stepping in because
he's keeping it real and saying you're welcome. So
this is true. Wait. You can also find Chuck on Fortnite at really late at night. I've seen him. It'll be like midnight my time, and I'll look and be like, Chuck Pineau's on his PS4 or PS5 playing Fortnite. I'd be like, what the hell,
get
dude?
the grinding. Gotta get the grinding. Got to.
Killing children is a way to vent. So yeah, that's what I do.
That is a good show title. I wish
that's good. That's good stress relief. Hey, we all manage our stress in our own ways. But you can find me on my website, fourthwallpros.com, and if you look on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all the social medias.
What about
you?
Have a new one on TikTok though.
Oh yeah, and the new TikTok, Ace Blade Comic. But we'll talk about that some other time.
I feel like you should get a special person on the line with us one day. Your mentor. But I'm gonna call him that now.
I'll try. We'll see.
Bro, if you could do that, that'd be such a good pool.
Hey, I don't want to. You know me. I don't like to call in favors from folks. But it's pretty cool. But where can people find you, Kyrun?
You can find my work at tauruscomics.com. You can check me out on social media at tauruscomics. And if this is your first time checking out our podcast, you can go back and listen to our past episodes at our website. It's fourtalespodcast.com. That's the number 4, TALES podcast.com. And I don't mention this, but if you want to, there is merchandise you can buy through that website. I mean, if you want to help support us, you can buy like shirts and hats and I think mugs. Like I made this mug, but if you want to financially support us.
I have listened to literally every episode of your guys' show. Why do you not talk about that?
Because I am a horrible host, dude. That's
why. No. You I don't know about horrible host. You're an awesome host, but the business side of things, you need to strap up, son.
The funniest thing though is we've actually gotten purchases through our website without me. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 people have bought something, so not a lot. But I got so many other things I forget. But I'm gonna try to now. I'm gonna try to remember to do that.
Add it to your bullet points for the show, man. On the wrap up. Come on, now.
I did. That's why I remembered it this time.
Terrible.
All right, but join us next week, where we officially have our first episode under the Aegis of Geekdom banner, but we will have our next guest, the hardest working man in comics, Victor Dandridge. He will be on the show talking about his works, talking about all the celebrities he's met over the years, and we're going to probably get into the big pile of poop he stepped into yesterday or the day before, trying to support somebody without actually knowing the whole backstory. So we'll probably get into that. But also, we're coming up on a milestone for the Four Tales podcast of our 50th episode. That's in 5 weeks. 50. And we're going to try to bring back some of our favorite guests and have like a mega show, I guess you could say, of about 8. I think we can have up to 8 other guests. If I kick Danny out, we can have 9. We'll see how that goes. But we'll start announcing that once we get confirmations from everybody who's actually going to be on. But yeah, we hope you guys are there. But until next time, I forgot what I was.
Sayonara.
Oh my God! All right, until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
You're welcome.
Music provided by my brother, Quicks Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.